This our show, and we talk about everything. And we talk about everything. Royal Flex, the brand zone introspective insight right now. Peace, love, and all that good stuff. I am King
Yes,
Devdo.
And this is Shannon Shenanigans.
And there's your favorite co-host, Noel Moore. We are back.
The most disappearing co-host.
They
Disappearing for real. And this is Royal Flex, the brand's introspective insight talk show, the Black Wall Street podcast.
Shannon, you used to never be here. I don't understand what's the problem. I don't understand what's the problem.
You know, we talked about
It's
last
only
time.
past
tense.
Last time we said past tense, right? Last time we said you took his spot.
Wow.
You don't got nothing to say?
Baby.
She don't got nothing to say.
Regained it.
She don't got
I
nothing to
had
say.
legitimate things to do.
Legitimate, legitimate.
You was just at home smoking marijuana.
Everybody was at my home smoking weed, girl. It was the winter time, and I
It was the
fucked
winter
up. I ain't want
time.
to drive him.
It's the winter time.
But if I
It's the
would've
winter
taken that
time.
smoke- I'm saying this was last year. That
No, it's winter time right now. The road's been bad. It's been bad.
It was the winter
Bad.
But you
time.
made
Okay.
it there, though.
Come
But
on
don't
now.
front like you wasn't gonna be there because you had to take a nap.
No, come on. Y'all know, first of all, my car was acting crazy. My car was off the road like 2 weeks. Come on, man. Come on, man.
You need to get.
I mean, I guess that's true, but at the same time,
You guess?
at the same
need to get
time,
here.
he was absentee.
If that nigga can take out your
2
garbage,
weeks in
all
a row.
right.
Get
You're
your car
right.
fixed.
So what? All I know is if Shannon is ever missing again, I'm going to find him. And I'm going to hurt him.
He ain't trying to find you.
Yeah, but y'all was on here talking about me. You like
That's
my
a fact.
sweater?
Oh,
got
Black
shit to
Lives Matter at school.
Is it by a
yeah.
black-owned company? Is that by a black-owned company?
I don't know.
I have no idea, but it says Black Lives Matter at school. Someone bought
I don't
this
like
for
it.
me.
I kind of feel.
I know this is off topic like a motherfucker, so I ain't gonna expound on it,
Bought
but
it for me. I was going to say no.
I don't mean to say I do care about Black lives. I said I don't really care about Black lives, and then it was the truth
I
just
don't
came
care
out.
about Black
Nah.
lives either. The fuck is with black life? I care about
African lives. That's a fact. You missed
Care
that
about-
episode. You
Oh,
know,
y'all
you was
care about
gone.
African? Wow.
Asante-Sana. That's the word of the show.
Mhm.
Asante-Sana, squash banana. Nah,
What?
it means thank you very much. Asante means thank you. Sana means very. And then you put it together. Asante-Sana. Thank you very
Asante-Sana.
much.
I've been saying Ashe after my prayers.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Power, command, control.
After my prayers. See, y'all been with me.
Yes.
Even with me and God.
That's a fact.
But you ain't with us. That's the
Listen,
problem.
when
That's
I'm with
also
when
a
I'm with
fact.
God, I'm exactly where I need to be.
Okay.
Yo, spiritual,
I get
not
it.
religious ass.
Don't, first of all, mind your business.
Okay, so the quote of the show is instruction in youth is like engraving in stone, and that's the Moroccan proverb.
True.
You know, because I got to keep it African on the show, because that's the
Mhm.
goal for this year, bringing more African vernacular and words and spirituality and all that good stuff into America.
African shit.
Facts.
Mhm.
And the off topic is the gang is back.
We back.
And
Y'all
better than
missed
ever.
me. I know y'all was like, dang, where she at with her fine ass? I'm here. I just had to get low real quick. Had to get low.
Shannon, you was like that?
I mean, I wouldn't say fine. No,
Definitely,
I'll say the
definitely
good
fine.
personality.
You said what?
I'll say a good personality.
A good personality. That's
Keep
about
that
it.
same energy when you get back to Rochester.
Oh, because you know you be shooting that shot from across the table.
Keep that same energy when you in my
Listen.
face.
Listen, I still want that threesome with you and another fine little young thing.
I don't understand. The only way we're having a threesome is if I have to end up on the crime unit.
Uh-oh.
That's the only way.
I don't get it.
Uh-oh.
That's the
I
only
don't
way.
get it.
You would
I'm
have
on.
had to
Kill
have
me,
taken the
motherfucker.
yoni. You would
I'm
not
on.
be given the yoni.
Listen, I'm gonna have Devin give you a yoni name, Shannon Shenanigans, and I'm gonna always be with you.
No, I'm okay. I'm all right. Speaking of yoni, I saw Raquel last night.
Lituation.
I love her. She's amazing. We made a whole bunch of noise and was screaming. Everybody was looking at us. I was like, sorry. We
Oh
haven't seen
shit,
each
that's
other
dope
in a
as
while.
hell.
I can imagine. I can
Yeah,
imagine.
the Avenue had a beautiful.
Shout out to the Avenue
beautiful-
Black Box.
Shout out to
Shout
the
out
Avenue.
to the Avenue Black Box.
A
I
gotta get
beautiful
over
black
there.
love experience. It was just amazing. There was body painting. Shannon, you would like that. I was liking it too. You know, asses and titties and stuff, just free.
Asses
Um,
and titties, baby.
it was
Wait,
nice
did they do
interpretive dance. It was just
demonstrations of how to
beautiful.
stick them in there?
Nope. See,
Why
that's
you
what.
gotta be like that?
That's
See,
why you gonna
see.
go to jail one day.
How? For asking questions?
You know, I said body painting. I didn't say this was an orgy.
Oh, I thought that y'all was actually demonstrating. And never mind. I thought you said body demonstrations, not body paintings. I can't hear like that.
Paint,
Excuse me.
demonstrate. Paint, demonstrate. Nope, never got those two mixed up.
Listen, Coon and Martin Luther. So what?
Wow.
Shut up.
That's how you giving it up.
We ain't doing that. We
That's
do
how
not
you giving
condone that.
That's how you giving it up.
So,
Well,
what? What you about to say, Smart?
I was just gonna say I'm happy that Black people is coming together for the growth of our communities, such as what she is doing. Okay.
It's beautiful.
Okay. Y'all thought I was gonna say something
don't
stupid,
think
but
I
nope.
tagged
Black pride.
myself
I
in
mean,
that.
oops, African pride over here.
Nope. I can tag you though.
Yeah, tag me in there. I don't think I tagged myself. Okay, so let's get into it because we got a lot to talk about today. We've been back. We was off a week, but we back and better than ever. Let's talk about Black History Month. Because Black History Month is here. Shannon, what you making that face for?
African. I don't know them niggas.
Oh yeah. African History Month. I've been on it. I've been
God.
literally pushing it because listen, we don't get enough acknowledgement.
What,
We don't.
Africans?
We don't get enough acknowledgement, bro.
I'm tired.
Like, what? Go ahead.
I'm tired of whenever you hear Africa, you think of a pot belly ass little nigga that got flies all over his head and shit like that. Tired of that shit.
That's very true.
Tired
They
of it.
definitely misrepresent Africa in any chance they get.
And that's it.
Disrespecting us.
Facts.
Disrespecting us.
It's straight so as you know, majority in the city there is very minuscule, and I say that very, very, very small amount of Black people just teaching in general. And
I got a story for this.
we get the same the same people time and time again, and like I push and be like, okay, we don't gotta talk about Martin Luther King no more. Like, we acknowledge them on his his birthday is on January 15th, not the 21st. Let's make that clear. But just the idea of let's recognize that there's more people than Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, just the typical Black history celebration people.
Bringing up
icons,
everybody from the 1800s.
the slave narratives, things of that nature. Like I've literally kind of pushed away from that. We can acknowledge it because it happened, but that's not where we started from. We got a whole bunch of different history dating back to the BC when we talking about the pharaohs, Hatshepsut.
What?
And
Matufu Shakur represent.
Nope, never knew him.
Cleopatra and Mansa Musa, the richest man to ever walk the face of the earth. Things of that nature. But also, because it's a shame that our kids. Obviously we got the Black History Celebration, March 5th, on a Tuesday, and I gave one of my girls, because she don't understand. Like I tried to kind of personalize the pieces of poetry, because we having a Black History Poetry Slam, all Black poets, things of that nature. So that's how we're gonna celebrate Black History this month. But I gave her this poem called Too Black, and basically it's like it goes through the process of the things that they say about us, because, like, for example, this is not one in there, but when Black women speak up, she's angry. So that's kind of the flow of the flow of the poem. And then the last line is, because I have pride for my race, I'm too Black. So when we saying that, the first thing she said was, too Black, that's racist. And I'm like,
who said that? First of all, my kids
see your
say
point,
everything
young
is
one.
racist.
well, let's talk about this real quick, because today's generation don't even know what racism really is, or being racist really is. They don't know. They know about slavery because that's pushed, but they don't know the actual ins and outs of slavery, racism, segregation, what's having pride for
They
your race.
don't know definitions.
They don't know anything. It's just they know what's been fed into them.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of the basis of today's conversation.
Was she a black girl?
Yeah, she was black. And they see having pride for their race as racist, but they don't see the things that's actually racist as racist because they don't know. They don't, like I said, they don't know definitions. They've been conditioned by the things feeding into their soul. So one of my initiatives is pushing black excellence holistically. That's why I have the culture wall at the school that I implemented last year, to which they see different positive images of them, so then they can actually make that, into reality. Like, I can be that, I can be that, I can be that, as opposed to, watching these shows like Love and Hip Hop and things of that nature, being on social media and kind of creating their own ideologies on race relations, racism, and things of that nature.
It's funny that you brought that up.
Go ahead.
Because they're so this group of non-black teachers apparently have been instructed with the task of putting together the Black History Month celebration.
Okay.
I did not know. I did not know this.
I mean, it can work.
No. I did not know. I did not know that this was happening. Right. So I'm in the class, just like talking to the kids and stuff, and I overhear people saying like historically black names. So I'm already in the mix because what y'all talking about?
Yeah, right.
What y'all talking about? So I hear them like, oh, I'm like, what y'all talking about? So she's like, oh, we're putting together the Black History Month celebration. And then I said, so why are you looking up historical black figures that the kids already know about? So now everybody like,
well, who are they looking up? Give me an example.
Martin Luther King.
That's
so I'm like, I don't.
Like,
not to cut
that's
you off.
Standard.
Martin Luther King is the perfect token black person.
Mm-hmm, because he let people beat his ass.
Right. And he just,
you know what?
Yeah, he just easily, he was easy.
Exactly.
He allowed he allowed the government to kind of use him as a puppet for the people. And they kept him around until he started to change his ideology.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
So, it was a few other people, Madam C.J. Walker, a few other people. So I was like, why y'all doing, why? So nobody has an answer for me. I said, these children, my children, are not going to connect with Martin Luther King. You may not understand why they won't, but they won't because they live in fucking 2019. I said, so no, scratch all. I changed their whole shit.
No.
Scratch all that. I said, you need to do research on people doing it right now. You need to do your research on black entrepreneurs. You need to do your research on black activists. You need to do your research on black doctors, black lawyers, black teachers, people who are making curriculums. I said, I had to give them a whole list. I had to give them a list of Instagram pages to follow. I'm like, why you don't follow? You need to follow Blavity. Like, what are you doing? I said, this stuff does not connect to these children. These children don't know shit about segregation. They don't know. Like, what are we doing right now? And she was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yes, that makes so much sense. I get.
She had to say
what?
That.
So
but I'm wrong, bitch.
So I had a
What are you doing?
I had a kind of revelation on a position that the city school district, where actually any school district should have. Because since we have white educators in the classrooms predominantly, we need to have an African American consultant to where these white teachers can go to and get the various information that they need or just consult with on the curriculum that they're using. Because so before Black History Month, one of my coworkers like email blasted. So there's a website to where teachers can go and get curriculum and you can buy it from other teachers that created a whole curriculum. There was that's something like that. So there was a teacher, white. Let me make that clear. A white teacher that created a Black History Month curriculum that you can use in your classroom. Now, this packet, it was full of information about slavery.
Mm-hmm.
This is a white educator that created a curriculum to which teachers can buy from her to have curriculum to teach kids in the classroom.
Because that's
One
all
of the
they know.
slides was, and I'm not exaggerating, a picture of a plantation house. I said, why?
What the fuck is that?
What do we get? And then it's the very white people that say,
The
why are
very-
you making this a black and
Very
white thing?
white people.
Now, those very white people, dang, since you said it, it sounds weird now. But those
okay.
same white people are the ones that's implementing and pushing the slave narrative. The slave narrative have always been centered around black versus white. Bacon's Rebellion, the blacks, the indentured slaves, or the indentured servants, the slaves, and the poor whites were banding together to overthrow the plantation elite, the plantation owners elite. Until the plantation owners elite gave the poor white status as slave catchers. And then that's where the divide started in America. Now, there's always been, philosophers and things of that nature that started to divide, black and white and skin tone and all that stuff prior to. But in America, at the conclusion of Bacon's Rebellion, that's when all whites was on the same page, and then all blacks was on the same page, and blacks meaning people of color. That's when they officially divided them, because before then, everybody was trying to figure out how to get rid of these plantation owners.
Until they gave them a little change. Like when Trump came and told all the poor white people he was going to help them. And now they don't got health care.
That's and it'd be funny when you see Trump supporters be like, I feel betrayed.
Yeah, they'd be like, what?
I feel betrayed.
Look
I
at you, you
feel
big
betrayed.
dummy. So that blew my
Yeah,
mind. That whole
Well,
History Month
so
thing. 'Cause-
It's a whole bunch of things that I could talk about when it comes to Black History Month.
But
So
the district does have tools. Like the district has PDs that they often offer geared towards non-bias, geared towards learning more about Black culture, and they're being led by Black people.
yeah,
The thing is, the difference comes from people who are motivated to learn and people who don't give a fuck. That's the divide, because there are teachers that I know that's literally out here doing the work, and they have the best relationships with students. Their kids have the best grades. They're knowledgeable about, not to say I know so much about Blackness or I'm here to save these Black kids, but I want to learn about the things that excite them. I want to learn about the things that may cause them trauma.
And
I want to learn about their history, and not their history as slaves, their history, period.
and those are the allies that you work with to create curriculum, because they're gonna do it right.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some out there. I'm now, when I speak on this is including everybody. The whole all white educators, because there's certain things that you just don't understand and you can't connect with. But if you seek help, again, that African American consultant, just like they have a parent liaison. I was gonna say parent alien because we have a joke at school. One of the Hispanic moms called the parent liaison the parent alien, so now we call her the parent alien. But that's another story. Just like they have a parent liaison, you need a African American liaison. We need just like the.
But even if there was one,
We
I feel
it
like
has to be
certain
the right
people
one.
won't take advantage of it, because
Oh,
there are already things out there for people
That's
to be
why-
taking advantage of.
Right,
Is this
right.
mandatory?
This
That's
is
what you're
this
saying?
is something that at least it's a resource again. So just like the parent liaison is a resource, and that's the bridge between parents and the school.
Mm-hmm.
The African consultant is the bridge between this cultural push that the district is doing anyway, and teachers and educators, white educators. This is a resource to which they can use to better help connect with the youth in which they service.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was talking to the principal at my school about this, and he was like, that's a good idea. And it's just because I do so much when in educating my colleagues as much as I can. I mean, and this is nonstop, but that's what I feel like another portion of my job is, because it's so many things that they don't understand.
It gets annoying.
It's like, all right, I
Right.
understand that we got degrees and stuff, but we have to look at the reality of it. Like our kids are dealing with something that's compounding on them through generations.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why their parents treat them the way that they treat them is because 9 times out of 10, their parents were treated like that by their parents. So it's a cycle that hasn't been broken yet. So we have to address it as that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, you know, we understand it to be this doesn't mean that this is what it is. Like, we have to look deeper into it beyond our book smarts. Like, let's think about it from a street perspective, even though everybody ain't street. And it's not really the literal sense. It's just we have to be able to address things beyond what is presented and what our books say. Okay, well, if they're doing this, then they're, you know, ADHD or ADD, or, you know, they got the obsessive whatever. You know what I'm saying?
We talk about how kids can't sit nowhere for 7 hours. Like, why do they make kids sit places for 7 hours? I can't understand. It blows. I know why, but come on.
Shannon, how did it make you feel when you had to sit in school for 7 hours?
Made me feel like the white man brought in a Bible, a whip, and Miley Cyrus. Just born. All around born. And to be honest, that is the indoctrination of the Bible. It's the same thing as church. They just want you to sit there and listen and pretty much believe that this shit is true. So to be honest, sitting there for that many hours just made me have to go to the bathroom, or just made me want to talk and play around with my friends. Just made me want to look outside and just do dumb shit, because I cannot sit there and focus for 7 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's
for the little ones, it's horrible.
Oh, I got a kindergartner. He will not stay in class. I mean, he clashed with his teacher, but he will not stay in class and sit there and learn. And when they do that, it's like, oh, we got to medicate him. I understand the medication thing. I'm not a fan of medication, but it's like certain things that we have to understand. This whole education, how the system is set up with the depression model and it breeding, you know, nationalism and things of that nature. Like, we not robots. Adults can't even sit.
That's what school is for.
And they want you to be robots.
Yeah, to condition kids to be able to work for 8 hours.
That's another conversation. That's an education thing. Let's stick on Black History Month. So, anyways, as one of my initiatives is also, you know, we talked about this on previous shows. One of the problems that society has is outside of the city, Black history, African history, anything that has to do with color is non-existent. I had one of my colleagues say she went to school with 2, maybe 3 Black people. Period. And there was never a conversation about race relations. There was never a conversation about any of that, because in their environment, this is something that they don't have to engage in, because everybody looks like each other.
Mm-hmm.
So since everybody looks like each other, they don't have to engage in saying, oh, well, racism is this, or segregation is this, or Black History Month, you should learn about Mansa Musa. He was the richest man to ever walk the face of the earth. Instead, they want to say, well, Bill Gates is the richest man ever.
Right.
Which he's not. But
one thing I will say is there are not many, but I have come in contact with a lot of educators who are pushing cultural awareness in the suburban schools. Not a lot, but I can say I've had conversations with McQuaid. I've had conversations with Webster District, and I've had conversations with Fairport, and they're really, really, really trying to push. I don't know if it's the whole building, but the people who are in charge of like organizing school events and things of that nature, they are really trying to push cultural relevance, because there are people who are seeing things that's going on in America, and they're white people who are absolutely disgusted.
So how do you, like, in a PWI, a predominantly white institution, how do you push cultural relevance if you yourself don't really truly understand it?
You gotta learn.
But how do you learn?
You put yourself in a position to learn. You go out and you find resources. You go out and you find other educators of color. You go out and you find organizations that will assist you in bringing culture to your school. Because regardless of the fact, if you have 2 Black kids at your school, or you have 10, they still matter and they still need to be recognized. That's
a fact.
So the fact that there has been people who have been pushing this, it makes me excited.
Well, I know, I've been in deep conversations when it pertains to, you know, Black history, and, you know, I got a lot of my colleagues on my Facebook page, and I post a lot of different, like very, conversation starting posts, like the Django, I like to say it, but when he was whipping the white man, and then I had a conversation with one of my colleagues, and she was like, it touched me a certain way, and she was like, ooh, that's not appropriate to post. And then she was like, well, I don't really understand this, so I had to watch it again and again, and then I never watched the movie, so I had to go and research the movie. And once she researched it, she was like, oh, okay, I get it now, and it brought her to a different space. But then she was basically the gist of the conversation was, I had to take myself to a place where I had to ask myself, well, why is this hitting me a certain way? Like, what is this pension? And then it caused her to kind of reflect and go out and kind of search for why it's doing it to where she can accept it. So, and then it goes to, so she told me something today. So, her daughter's mixed, and so black and white. She got hue to her skin, and she goes to school out in the burbs, and she's having a very black experience because her skin is darker. The other day she was called an immigrant. Go back, like an immigrant, go back to where you came from.
They don't even
little do they know that she is where she came from. And like even those type of conversations to where I mean, me personally, we had this conversation when we was talking about logic, and that kind of debate came up with mixed kids, people in general. They have the toughest battle because they typically are forced to choose. They have to choose a side. Mm-hmm. But if they have hue to their skin, Logic is an anomaly because his phenotype is white. So everything about him is backwards, mm-hmm. right? If he wanted to identify as white, he could do that without a problem and nobody would think about it. Mm-hmm. But for the people with hue in their skin, they have to identify as black, because if they try to identify as white, the color of their skin, it got too much melanin in there, so they will be instantly rejected. So now, especially if they're in a predominantly white space, mm-hmm. and they already think that their blackness is a bad thing, or it's ugly, or I can't accept myself because I have bad in me. So then they try to identify as white, but their predominantly white area is rejecting them, so they can't even identify as white. So now they're confused about their identity.
Fairport has a like a kind of like a students of color organization, coalition, or whatever. And I had a conversation with a couple of them, and one girl in particular, she's Puerto Rican, mm-hmm. and white, mm-hmm. but she looks white. So when she's in certain spaces, people talk about Latinos, and then she speaks up, and they like, yeah, but you're not really a Latino,
right?
And she like, how the fuck? Like, what do you mean? I'm not. My father's Puerto Rican. My mother's white. I'm a Latino. You just think because I have blonde hair and blue eyes, I'm a white girl. And then she starts speaking Spanish, and people are also confused. There was another girl who was black and white, and she was like, I'm too white for the black kids, and I'm too black for the white kids, so I have no friends.
No space.
And I think both sides have to do better with that, because I feel like because of conditions from slavery, black people had this ideology that if you are mixed with something other than black, you are better, you are prettier.
Well, you live in a house,
and mm-hmm, and you're not as black. You don't have as much struggle. Do people mixed race may have some extra privilege? Yes, but I mean, if you're a light enough full black person, you have privilege,
right, Shannon?
Look, I don't understand the whole privilege aspect of it because I'm light skinned. Man, look, I get treated just like every last one of you niggas. And then plus I don't understand. It's the same thing with the black card to me. I don't understand white privilege. I get it, but I don't understand the term privilege. Y'all just took over shit, so y'all run shit. So obviously people gonna fuck with y'all more than they fuck with the next.
If you run some shit,
so winning shit is so the New England Patriots, they got privilege over the NFL. They just running shit to me. Like, it's all about who's dominant, who's winning, and the winner gets to tell the story. I guess that's privilege, but I don't understand it. Be yourself. If you white and you want to identify, if you mix, if you want to identify as white or black, then shit, do that. If you want to be white and you mix, do that. But you're gonna be looked at as a dumbass. My thing is,
if you want to be white,
with white people to the black people,
like Rachel.
If you want to be that, shit. Listen, man. Look, be that until you get educated, because obviously growing up you want to have friends, you want to now mind you, we're talking about school kids.
Yeah.
So obviously you want to have friends, you want to be well liked and shit like that. To me, it'll damage your pride more if you grow up with no friends, and then you get called like if you're white, and if you're mixed and then you're too white for the black kids and you're too black for the white kids, you'll grow up confused as fuck. And
They
now
do
what you
grow
gonna
up
do
confused.
when you get old?
I said they do grow up confused, but I think at some point we all reach an age where we start to accept our identity and live our full experience, and that definitely happens for mixed kids at some point. But when you talk about elementary and middle school and high school,
it's hard.
You know, it's hard. It's hard because you want that acceptance, you know, and you also want to feel connected to something. So imagine being a mixed race child in this era of America right now, and you go to a predominantly white school. That's a lot.
You see, because no matter how many times you come home and your dad or mom says, "Baby, your black skin is beautiful," you're gonna look like, but my friends say it's not. So that correlation don't hit you until you get much older. Trust me, I was when I got called high yellow and all that shit, I really looked at myself as a different breed. Like there's black, there's white, and then there's high yellow. Man, I kind of gravitated to the other light skinned niggas. Like, oh, we relate.
Yeah, because we divide
as I got older, nigga,
each other.
Divide. Well, you know, it is what it is. Once I got older, we all niggas. That's how I look at it. They crackers, they took over us, and now we got to take back what they took.
Not crackers.
Now we take back what they took. Nah, so how would you suggest, you know, like, so I guess white parents, because it's different if the dad is black. Oh wait, if the dad is white and the mom is black, because you're living a black life. Because in society, it's the mom always has custody of the kids. So if the mom is black, that mixed kid is gonna most likely identify as black. So if the mom is white and the dad is black, and you're in a predominantly white space altogether, but you got this hue to your skin, how would you suggest the mom?
We going down south to your cousin's house this summer.
let's keep.
How do I suggest the mom what?
How do you suggest the mom kind of gives that empowering, you know, just basically say, like, you know, your blackness is not a curse or bad. Like, how do you incorporate the child
just like that? That's how
into like, you know, just being able to identify as black proudly. It's
but
kind of a hard thing.
If you
when you don't have any black friends,
thought that through, when you started to date a black man, you should have started to educate yourself. Don't wait until you bring a black person into this world to try to teach them and now yourself about their blackness. This is something you should already know. I mean, black dicks are amazing. We know that. But black dicks come with certain shit.
None of that.
Oh, you know.
We found out on Tom and Darky.
So it's like, and even when the roles are reversed, as a black woman, if I was to enter in a relationship with a black man, I have to figure out how his family feeling. I have to figure out what does him and his family have. What are their ideas of black people and my blackness? You know what I'm saying? So there's work that has to be done before you even bring a child around, period.
So 9 times out of 10, that work is never done because, you know, people, whether it's I'm in love and we doing that or it's a mistake or any of that. So now where you're starting to actually see, because again, when you're in a predominantly white space and you've grown up in a predominantly white space that don't even explore that, and you don't know, I mean,
you can't teach what you don't know.
Right. Understood.
So they both have to start learning together.
So now you have to start learning together. But again, so it's like not just by yourself, but how do you start to implement and kind of interject yourself in, you know, black spaces or
for
where
one,
you go?
Where is her black daddy family? Is he not around?
It's the typical black man.
Okay. Oh damn.
You know, like the breaking of a black household. You don't know how to hold your house together. You know,
I actually have a coworker. She was kind of in the same situation, raised by a white man, father's black, mother's white.
It's just a typical, like, you know.
She when she got older, I'm not sure if there was any work done with her as a child, but when she got older, she started to try to connect with her Black family members. And I feel like if she does have some sort of connection with her Black side of the family, she needs to be spending, both of them need to be spending time with her Black family.
What if there's no
Because
connection at all?
then you have to figure out, you have to learn, because you can't, you literally cannot teach anybody something that you do not know.
Right.
If you don't know it, you just don't know it. So now you have to go out and find resources. Then you have to bring the resources to her, and you have to sit down with your child and say, listen, Stephanie.
Stephanie. That's the whitest name that you can come up with?
Yeah. Listen, Zoe.
Sarah.
Zoe.
Your daddy,
Shannon,
your daddy was fine.
Shannon, it's your expertise. Give me a white name.
Nigga, Sarah.
Okay.
Stephanie's a good one. Stephanie's a great one. And my most favorite one ever, Kimberly.
Kimberly. Okay, Kimberly.
Okay. All right, Kimberly. Kim K.
Kim K.
And I feel like with kids,
Nah,
we have this
melanin.
notion of that we can't be honest with them. Like, we have some sort of ideology in our head that says we don't need to be honest with kids. Sit your kid down and say, yo, your daddy was fine. I wanted to fuck with him, but I don't know shit about blackness. I ain't know shit about blackness. I met a black man. He was fine. Shit. Okay. So now me and you have to now learn about your blackness so that I am able to support you in an appropriate way, and you are able to stand strong in who the fuck you are. Period.
There you go.
You got to take her
So that's
what?
no, go ahead. You gotta take her to where.
You just have to involve her in black shit and involve you in black shit.
So pretty much we
Come down to the avenue,
house to
sis.
Warren Hill.
Come down to the avenue. Bring her to the avenue. You might be the only fair skinned one at the avenue, but it's all right.
I don't know about that.
They'll teach you about some
I don't
black.
know
I'm
about
talking
that.
about the avenue here, Black Box.
Man, listen, them niggas might really corrupt my white queen. She might find a real dark skin. She might find a Devin down there. Oh, you educated and you
Yeah,
know?
it's gonna be white.
He probably want white kids.
He do want white kids.
Someone white kids. What's wrong with that? And
I'm not babysitting your white kids.
nobody asking you to, so
I'm
you
joking.
can corrupt it. You know what your daddy done did. So they
You know your daddy got
come-
them
They can
boils.
come back cursing me out. You ain't shit.
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yo,
But
so
hey, now my white woman gonna come talk to you. Sue your ass. Defamation.
You're not gonna come. I'm gonna
defamation.
come teach her some
Defamation the character.
stuff. Soon as you get with a white woman, you get serious. You're gonna be like, you're gonna have to go hang out with Noelle for a while. She gotta teach you some stuff. We have some black daughters and black sons, so you gotta go out there and hang out with her. And then me and her gonna be like best friends.
Listen, you just.
I love
don't
white women.
bring
I
your
love the
hood
white women
friends
that
next to her.
that no.
Listen, your friend is gonna corrupt her. I don't want y'all making fun of her because she can't twerk.
Cause she can't.
She
She
might
might be able to twerk.
That take practice.
Again, I can teach her that. 'Cause
Put her in the
teach
black
what you
space,
know.
and you can learn that stuff. That's like
Nothing
singing.
wrong with that. I
Look.
got black friends that I had to teach how to twerk. That ain't nothing but a thing. Nothing but a thing.
Y'all,
Chicken wang.
y'all gonna say
I don't
she
eat
look
no
like she
chicken
getting
wings.
electrocuted.
Ew.
Don't do that.
You said what?
Y'all gonna say she looked like she getting electrocuted. You know how the body just all that.
Listen. Me and your white wife. Me
No.
and your white wife can go to these vegan spots and chill. We can go get us some sushi
Oh, yeah.
and chill. We can ride bikes. We can go to public market. Like, come on.
Just don't
I
ask
have
us
to.
about our
Being
sex
a black
life, 'cause, you
person
know,
in a predominantly white space, you're constantly teaching people. I'm constantly correcting educators all day long about certain shit. I got the capacity, so
That's
she
a fact.
She can come
Okay.
on right over.
Okay.
I'm doing the same thing.
She can,
Okay.
Excuse me. So
I'm doing the same. You getting a white woman too?
no,
no,
No.
I'm
he know where he comes from.
continuously continuously educating every day. That's why I'm the African American consultant in my building. I done created,
I might have done
Oh,
turned
okay.
myself into that too. I be mad
But
about it.
the
like,
thing is,
ugh.
I know a lot of people get mad and annoyed, but I enjoy it because I'm literally putting them on the game, and then like they kind of flock back because it's like a culture shock, and it's like that's the only way if we're gonna keep on going to where we have a predominantly white staff in these schools, that we have to do what we can to educate them until we start to change the direction and get more black teachers, educators into the buildings. So especially if the district is pushing culture We can't have people who don't understand the culture trying to push the culture. That's just not possible. It's not practical.
Can't teach what you don't know.
Exactly. So like when we talking about all this stuff, it's like when I'm again. So my initiative for Black History Month is to one thing that I was talking about is Black History Month is for y'all. It's not for us. Like we literally are taught to learn history so history doesn't repeat itself. They don't have to learn history because history has benefited them since time, the beginning of time. So since the beginning of America time.
And they learn about themselves in these books in school.
Right. They learn about themselves so they can identify as philosophers, doctors and things of that nature. They don't know that Charles Drew was the first Black surgeon. He created the first blood banks. He was overseas saving lives, with storing blood plasma, and then once the United States wanted to use them, they tried to get him to separate African American blood from white people blood, and then said only white African Americans could get African Americans blood, and he just resigned from the army altogether during World War II. Like, they don't understand these things to where we literally created everything that white America uses now. We created peanut butter. Traffic lights. We created the Washington D.C. how it is right now. We created that.
Flushing toilets.
The White House, we built that. I mean, like,
cell phone.
We could keep on going. The radar, the radar that everybody used to figure out sonar and all that stuff. We created that. GPS. Oh, we created GPS. I mean, we can keep on going.
We followed the stars. We created GPS before GPS was a thing.
We created time before time. We used the sun and it was going over. Like, we created all these things that white America uses every day. So why not push these things into these predominantly white institutions, these predominantly white schools, these predominantly white areas? Because what that does is it changes the narrative.
But the narrative is proper. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, right.
The system is working the exact way they set it up for it to work.
Right, and it's like I've been saying for the longest, it's not necessarily we're not. What I'm doing is not trying to erase slavery completely from the narrative, but we dedicate one day, maybe 2 days of slavery. You know what I'm saying? But all this other stuff,
at home.
we got so much stuff that we can we have so much stuff that we can do. Like, we could talk about. We could talk about how Jay-Z literally uses his funds to help Black
Jay-Z
people
and Beyonce
legally.
are literally the shit.
Like, Jay-Z got 21 Savage out of jail. Jay-Z helped Meek Mill get out of jail paying his legal expenses. Like, Jay-Z is somebody that goes up on the wall as somebody that's done something for the Black community.
And they do stuff behind the scenes that we don't necessarily
that we don't know
about.
And he don't want us to know about that because that's how Jay-Z is. And that's not
the agenda.
Right. And then like, we have so much greatness that we can literally project out and we can use. So going into the representation piece, like, we have so much greatness that we can use to where we can teach our kids that they can be more than athletes and rappers. Like, so much stuff.
That brought up another point. So when I started telling them to stop looking up historical figures and start paying attention to what's going on, the first thing that came to their mind was entertainers. And I said, y'all got it. Y'all got it wrong again. I said the percentage of these kids to become a Cardi B or a Jay-Z is a slim chance to motherfucking none. I said, you need to find people who have come from these spaces. And then I started talking to them about Dev. And I'm like, it's a boy who went to school here, got his own fucking financial consulting company. He went to the city school district. I said, these are things that y'all need to be like, if you want to do it, then you need to do it or leave it the fuck alone.
Right. It's so many people. We could talk about Shannon and how, he what you do, Shannon? You did something for the Black people. He's spreading interracial love. Interracial love.
He's spreading interracial love.
So Shannon is the
okay, there we go.
Yeah, he's the what is it? The ambassador of interracial love. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to bridge that gap between white people and Black people. Really, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doing something.
He doing something.
With his fair skin. We can
teach him about anything. They can teach him about you. They can teach him about me. Well, I don't tell him. But I got a company.
Like, it's just the effort. Like, it involves extra effort to go beyond the Martin Luther King
or go find a Black person in the school and say, can you look over this? Do you think this is what I should be doing and like what I should be presenting at the Black I have a group of girls and I'm teaching them poetry and it's all Black poets. And then I felt bad because it was a white girl and she said, why do we always learn about Black people?
Because you
and
can go and find your white poets.
I had to break it down like, honey,
Shannon, go talk to your people, Shannon. Nah.
But she just didn't understand because
Bruh.
for her to be a white student in the city school district is to be almost like a black student in a white district because there's nothing that goes on about what. Like it's always pushing like Latino heritage, or we always pushing like some black heritage, or if we're having a dinner, like it's always cultural. It's never white shit.
That's
You know what I'm saying? So the white kids in the city feel left out, but I had to explain to her why it's imperative that we talk about these things in the district that we're in, and she's kind of understanding it. And I figure by the end of our 10 weeks, maybe she'll know, like, learn a little more and just try to educate her on, like, listen, honey, you learn about white shit all day. We're learning about black shit in my group. This is the black shit.
And a lot of the times, we don't have the 2-parent household. A lot of the times. So that being said, she could go. These white students got the mom and dad that's either doctors, lawyers. They actually see themselves. But with us, the mom probably got to work, so they come home to their brothers and sisters. Then they on TV all fucking day. They come home to 2 tired parents, so now they playing the game and chilling with friends. Like, where are they getting this education?
I don't know if the kids in our district, if the white kids in our district got a 2-parent household. I ain't seen it yet. But
I'm talking about in the suburbs, where the suburb kids could actually see their parents being doctors, lawyers, and actually see themselves being represented properly. Most kids,
even with teachers,
I know, growing up, even with teachers, like most kids that I know growing up, their parents still got jobs at McDonald's, Walmart, Target. Not to say there's nothing wrong with having,
and that's the bar though.
There, but
that's where the bar is though.
Then you watch people turn into their parents
because it's the comfort level, the comfortability. Like you can make
your ability to do things.
Yeah, I can do this. Like I can make ends meet if I get here. If I could become a manager, I can make ends meet. As opposed to when you in predominantly white areas, they're talking about finances and they're talking about taxes and they're talking about that stuff, which is why you go into.
They go on vacations once a year.
They have accounts for their children, bank accounts for their children,
right? And that's why they turn into those tax gurus and go to Wall Street and things of that nature, because that's in their education. That's what they can see. That's what they're represented as.
Me and my mother had a conversation about the black family and how it makes a big difference when you have both of your parents in a household, and like black love and black respect is shown to you.
Yep.
Like and especially being oppressed people in the country that we live in, it's a big deal for no matter what job your parents got. Like, let's keep it 100. Like, there's people who parents who work at Walmart or work in some sort of service fields, and but it's 2 parents in the household, and they raise children who go to college and who become wilder than their imagination.
And something. Okay, this is something that I hate. I hate admitting this. But it's my mom and dad, they were pretty much on and off for like the first 4, 5, 6 years until my dad met his ex-girlfriend. I don't remember her like that, but then he met Mary Lou, my stepmom, who's white. I've known Mary Lou ever since I was 8. So that was the most stable relationship I had.
That's why.
We done figured it out.
No, there's 2 reasons, but there's 2 reasons. There's 2 reasons. That was the most stable relationship I saw throughout my dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family. Now my mom's side of the family, all they talk about is pretty much if you broke as a woman and you got a pussy in between your legs, girl, you ain't shit. So pretty much they had multiple niggas, multiple unstable relationships, multiple fucked up situations, lived off government for pretty much all their lives. Fucking my mom gave me up to my aunt, who's a bitch and only took me in for money, and then she's crazy. So I had a bunch of bad experiences with black women. But I gotta admit it sometime in my life. But I had a bunch of unstable black women in my life, a bunch, and the only lady that really showed me she cared genuinely was my stepmom, Mary Lou.
That's a white name, Mary Lou.
Mary Lou,
the white.
My mom, my mom and my stepdad got together when I was 2. They got married when I was 5, and me and my mom had a conversation like maybe November, October, and she told me like I did not date after because she broke up with my dad when she was pregnant. So she was like, I did not date men if their goal was not marriage. She said there was no way I was raising a black girl as a single mother and just having niggas. She's like, I wasn't doing that. So she's like, when I met, right. So she was like, when I met your dad, I let him know I have a daughter. If you're going to date me, then we're dating to be married. Are you in a space in your life where you want to be married with a child? And his answer was yes. And now the rest is history. And I'm 25 and I have 2 parents.
That's power though. That's like,
but even you, Dev, you had a black stable woman that actually showed you the way which makes you fall in love with black women. You have a stable mom.
Well, yeah, but also, which is one of the reasons why I believe in co-parenting. Just so like into that case, that's a different scenario to where I want to show in a specific like family structure. But I still had a family structure, but it was a co-parenting family structure. So
your
it
dad
was like
present. See, my dad was acting finicky in the beginning.
Right. So it's like that's why I'm like it's either we could like if we gonna have a kid, it gotta be 2 options. We either getting married and like being together like that, or we gotta be in a space to where we both can agree that if this doesn't work, because we can't tell the truth. Exactly. I mean, we can't tell the future. So if this doesn't work, we can actively co-parent and follow rules basically. Like it's certain rules to co-parenting that needs to be present. Absolutely. So because
co-parenting is still essentially 2 parents.
Right, absolutely.
Co-parenting is different than a single parent. Your home, like where the bills is at, might be single parent, but if your parents have a great co-parenting relationship, you're not raised in a single parent household. I don't view it that way.
Yeah. Right. Right. It's just it may not be the traditional like 2-parent household, but at the same time it's still a 2-parent household.
To me, 2-parent household is activity.
Yeah. Right.
Like what is the activity that is going on that's surrounding my children? Am I the only person going to PTO meetings? Am I the only person going to doctor's office? Am I the only person picking kids up? Am I the only person putting my money in? That's a single parent.
Right.
But if we splitting this 50-50 and you got your child and you doing what you need to do for him and I'm doing what I need to do for him, this is a 2-parent situation.
Right. And that's
Ooh,
really,
I had
that's
that.
I guess that's really how our environment kind of influence the way we look at these things. And that's why I'm like co-parenting is perfect. Like that's that whole getting married first and then having the kid. Like you can get married first, have the kid and divorce. Like that's an option. Let's talk about co-parenting. No matter what happens, we have the ability to co-parent. It said it ended. You can. So it's like so this is the representation piece too. Like in order to positively be represented and just in a positive light, we have to make sure that we show positive representation, because the things that our kids see are the things that's feeding their soul. So which brings me to like the last portion of the show. It's more so let's talk about the things that fed our soul when we grew up. We had so many. I didn't even notice that we had so many, but we had so many black shows that fed our soul. It's crazy.
The Proud Family.
It's reverse. It's completely 360 reversing. What you were saying?
No, I was saying the Proud Family. I've never seen a black family that was called the Proud Family.
Oh yeah, the Proud Family. I didn't even think about the Proud Family. I shared a post yesterday to where it had all the black shows and it was like 32 plus. So it had Martin, it had the Wayans brothers, it had Family Matters. Like it had so many different positive.
The 90s went down with
the 90s and the early 2000s. One on One, the Monique Show,
Moesha,
even the Monique Show. The Monique Show showed a single black mom, but she was powerful, and it wasn't like she had multiple men coming in and out of it. She had what, Mr. Who's it?
The one she was in
Stanley,
love with,
whatever his name is,
Dr. something,
Dr. Stanley or something. Like that's the one that's the only one that she was trying to get it at. So it's not showing that multiple men coming in and out in this single family household. Like it's El Saint Pa. So so yeah, so when we talking about that, even the music, I'm thinking about the type of music that we listen to. To which it didn't. I mean, it had its things that they said, but it wasn't.
It was subtle.
It was real subtle. It was super subliminal, so we didn't even get it until we listened
and we
to
was
it
singing
now.
them shits hard.
Yeah, like,
and I'm like, I ain't had my heart broken at 6.
In my in 4th grade, we did the talent show, and it was me, Jeremiah, Champ, and then this dude named Evian, right? So the first song we tried to do was Lovers and Friends. So we all singing Lovers and Friends, and I think I had Ludacris version, Ludacris part, because they was like the singers. I mean, we was all singers because we all sung in elementary, but I had the Ludacris part. So we was singing, and then we got to the Hold Your Head Steady While Milk the Cow part, and they was like, nope, we can't do it. And we like, why you can't do it? Like, you was just milking the cow. Like,
right.
You know, but when you think about it, we know why he was holding the head steady while he milked the cow. Like, we know what that is now. But back in the day, I was thinking just the otters, and they milking the cows. You know, that's nothing. That ain't nothing, right? So things like that, to where it was so subliminal.
It wasn't bring that pussy over here so I could fuck the shit out you and get in your guts. It was like, come over and
the most shut
be
up, Shannon.
sensual. Look, that's what we like.
It really was on the low, because when
there's
I heard,
no R&B either.
I guess it was
anymore.
the beginning.
Even Pony.
That's the first thing that popped in my mind when you said
like,
no, R&B was the most subliminal niggas ever. Them niggas,
facts.
boy.
What about Keith Sweat? Nobody. All he's saying is, who gonna fuck you like this?
Nobody.
You ain't gonna find no dick like this, sis. You ain't finding no dick like this.
Love was the biggest subliminal word for fuck. Love.
Let's make love.
Then, wait. Why you playing? Because now we'll just say I want a nut in your face. But back then, it was ski, motherfucker.
Ski. And we used to always say that. And it's like, yo, what that mean?
As like, but back in the day when we ski, we would skeet off, like run. Like, get out, like squale.
Ski.
Right.
Lil Jon and the East Side Boys, they was notorious for.
What about the
that.
Whisper song?
What?
Yo, I had that whole album, Black and White.
How you doing, Lil Mama? Let me
welcome
whisper
to
in your ear.
the United States of Atlanta or something like that. The Yin Yang Twins.
Yep.
I had that album, and I bumped that album. My dad didn't want me to do it, but I still did. I had the explicit version, all
As
that
he
stuff.
should.
Like, so I'm thinking about it, and even when I'm thinking about how my dad censored like the Simpsons and the Family Guys and the things of that nature.
Yeah, I couldn't watch Family
and
Guy.
I was like, yo, why we can't watch it? And now when we watch it, it's like, oh,
so inappropriate.
That's
But kids
why
are
we
so
can't watch
innocent. They don't know.
they don't know. But then you have
They're so desensitized.
right. So
These
then now they're taking in this stuff to the into their soul, and like the situation I told y'all about off air. Things of that nature. So when we're talking about kids being over fixated on, hurting themselves, things of that nature, they use "I want to hurt myself" as a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Is what we how we talk about it at school. I think the number one song that I think about that gets so many spins on the radio is Juice WRLD, "Lucid Dreams," to where he's the central message of the song. Even if you play the clean version, the central message is she don't want me, so I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna take pills and I'm gonna fade away because she don't want me no more.
But that's what the kid. But think about what we in our mid-20s. Think about what the 18, 19, 20, and 21-year-old kids, like, they all on like syrup and shit. Like the entertainers. They all on syrup. They all take pills. They're all fucking super depressed because the internet tells you that at 15 you gotta have a Maserati and a mansion in West fucking Hollywood. So they growing up with this, and then they get in the music industry that's already depressing as fuck, and they don't get where they feel like they should be, because we live in a world where everything fast paced. Like, you're supposed to get it. Yeah. So they depressed, so they put in their music, and the kids is already depressed. It's just a lot.
It is a lot, and
especially when you start glorifying dumb shit, like that bad baby. Like, when people see her, they think, oh, I really could just
who was that?
Quote unquote,
who was Bad
be
Baby?
Myself. The Call Me Outside, Catch Me Outside.
Oh, Batty. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, she's a hot.
Yeah, but when you see that, you could think I could act up and curse my mom out, but I still don't get that recognition. What makes me different? I literally act just like that. And my final point is, when you see motherfucking rappers that are young as a bitch, like 19, fucking Lil Pump,
XXX.
My kids are obsessed
he was
with
young
him.
too.
And I'd be pissed every time they say
he was young too, though.
Yeah, what?
But yeah,
21?
well,
Nah,
XXX
he
is
was like
different. That nigga changed
19.
his life and started promoting. He started promoting literally be yourself before he died. But Gucci Gang ain't doing none of that shit. The point is, them niggas like, nigga, I could make a song like Gucci Gang. Why I ain't popping? I could dye my hair because you know all them niggas grow their hair out and dye it blonde, which is some weird
or
shit.
red or pink or something.
Or rainbow.
Or all these colors.
6ix9ine.
But that's only for attention. Or rainbow using it. Six. I'm surprised we didn't talk about that. But yeah, it's all for attention. So when they don't get that attention, then they want to listen to Lucid Dreams. And then when that bitch that is also a little attention seeker find the next nigga that's giving her attention, she gonna leave you because that nigga got more clout than you and he only get 25 likes, nigga. You only get 10 likes. Like, and it's all about who you know.
Or that I Want to Die song, and the kids' attention span so small, they don't get to the end of the song where he be like, I want to be alive. You talk about being alive at the end, but it's at the end of the song. So these kids' attention span is so short. They not listening to that. They like just, I want to die. But another thing that just popped up in my head is, you know how black families don't believe in depression?
Yeah, mental health.
So I feel like if our
oh my gosh.
If our grandparents and parents aren't believing in depression and these kids are actually really depressed, and you got parents telling them, oh, that's just the devil, or you just need to pray. Imagine telling a black kid, you feel like this because of the devil. Then you feel as though you are now the devil. So what do you do with the devil? You kill his ass, right?
Oh.
And then you just done.
Man,
oh,
I'm about
that
to pop
is
these
a
drugs,
perfect...
tattoo my face, and give up my career.
Yesterday I seen a post on Facebook. You know I see everything on Facebook.
And you need to be a Facebook ambassador.
That's a fact. I need to be a Facebook ambassador. And these two girls came into their mom's house and they were smoking, I guess hot box or whatever, right? And then they sprayed, the spray on them before they went in, but they still, obviously you can still smell it. So they went to the bathroom hiding from their mom, and she was outside of the bathroom saying, the Holy Spirit, they will not let you go. Da, da, da. She praying on them because they came in smelling like weed. That's to that same scenario. That's that same point. Like, we don't. Again, this is one of those African American consultant things where we come in there.
We gotta consult the parents.
Like, we have to. No, not consult the parents. When we talk about the white educators and things of that nature. Like, when we go to school, we got to tell them, like, yo, in our community, we don't talk about mental health. We don't talk about none of that stuff. We don't talk about depression. Right. If
you don't get out my goddamn face.
And another thing is we don't talk. So like even when we're talking about, because one of the battles, the most recent or common battles that they have is the whole special education thing. Like I told them when they was trying to hit, when my sister, like my nephew, he got an IEP, individualized education plan. But when they say, yo, we're gonna put you in special education, in the black community, that just say your son a retard. Because when we grew up, anybody in special education, them the retards over there. Like, and then if you fought, it's like you fought the retard. I'm sorry for using the word, but this is like this is what
dialogue.
This is our vernacular in our community. So when you come into these CSE meetings and things of that nature, talking about special education to black families, you got to understand from our perspective, you trying to call my son or my daughter a retard, and they're not a retard. I see them every day at home. So, but it's more so that disconnect in the vernacular in which we use in our communities.
I don't think it's a disconnect. I think it's the whole white Jesus mindset. Because trust and believe you me, my mom has been on drugs forever. Like as long as I've known her, forever. And do you know how many times she said I put it in the Lord's hands? Bitch, if you don't get your shit together, and then even my dad, this nigga got 2 houses, 5 cars, including mine, because he still own mine.
Including mine.
You need to get up out of that situation. You need to get up out of that.
Well, nonetheless, the point is he's depressed like a motherfucker. So it's kind of like the perfect cross between the two worlds. You doing for your damn self what Jesus is providing. Nigga, you put your feelings in Jesus and you still depressed. But when you got your ass up and work, you got 2 houses and 5 cars. Nigga, if you don't get your shit together by your fucking self and think once you get your shit together, then put it in the Lord's hands. But the Lord ain't just gonna come to your room and sit down with a pen and pad. So what you going through?
God helps those that help themselves. Period.
That's what people just put it all in the Lord's hands. So that being said, they put their children's in the Lord's hand.
That's what.
Nah, baby, you ain't depressed. You just need to go to church.
Mhm.
Nah, baby, you ain't gay. We just need to pray that out you.
Mhm.
Nah, baby, you ain't. That ain't really your baby daddy. He a drug dealer. We gonna go to church and pray for him and you.
Mhm.
I
Like,
was-
nah.
I was having that conversation the other day. From
Talk that
you know,
shit,
MCC.
Wisconsin shit.
Right.
Wisconsin?
No, he in North Dakota.
Okay, North Dakota, Shannon.
He's somewhere over there in the
Wisconsin.
Midwest. I was just having that conversation the other day because I was trying to figure out the belief system that I wrote about my first semester at MCC. And that was the premise of my paper. Like, I believe I'm in this belief system because I don't believe in giving God all the credit. Because if I stopped believing in God and I gave him all the credit, now what happens to me? I'm lost again, right? So if you give yourself the credit, then now you give yourself that cushion, that safe zone, that safety net, to where if you start to believe in a different God or start to become more spiritual than religious, you're still safe within your own mind, saying, I did this for myself.
Damn right.
I got myself up to go to church every week, or I got myself up to go to the
Goddamn
mosque
right.
every day, or I got myself up at the 5 praying times to pray to the east. Like I did that.
actively went out and looked for a relationship with God.
Period.
If you're sitting in your home and you are not actively seeking a relationship with God, you won't have one.
And that goes bringing it full circle when we talking about these mixed babies and we talking about our kids and we talking about white educators. You have to go and seek that relationship with the community as a whole.
You have to do the work. Like, you have to do the work. The black community got to do the work with depression. Black community has to do the work with
just mental health in general.
Talking to fucking therapists. Like, it's so many black people that's like, what the therapy gonna do? And I always tell people, it's not what therapy. You don't walk in there and the doctor be like, here are all your problems and here are all the solutions to your problems, and this and that's that. And then I heard this girl, she was talking about mental health, and she put it so simply and so eloquently, and she was like, therapy only does the amount of work that you put in, but therapy is just simply hearing shit come out your mouth and being like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Why
I
am
feel
I
like
doing
that?
this?
Why do I think like that? What is going on for me to make me come to these conclusions?
And while you playing, motherfuckers be like, therapy too expensive.
No,
But we'll spend $200-$300 a month on weed, on liquor, food that they don't necessarily need, on bitches, on clothes, Jordans, because you know how much our dollar translates to other communities. So please, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that anymore.
And they don't even got, and the
even
thing
health.
is,
Even health. People say healthy food is so expensive. It doesn't matter. You feeding your organs. There's nothing too expensive for my kidneys.
shout out
to
to
work
Be
properly.
Healthy Fresh Foods Market.
Shout
They
out.
got the clutches, smoothies. I made it a priority to go there every Saturday and Sunday because that's my freest days to get me a smoothie.
Them wraps though, them vegan wraps have you feeling like?
Listen, everything is fresh. Shout out to Be Healthy Fresh Foods Market. We're gonna have one of the owners actually on the show soon, hopefully next week, to spit that knowledge because we got a lot of power that we don't know about. And there's ways to,
They're gonna shut us down after he gets on.
Yeah, they might try to shut us down.
They're gonna be at our door now.
Like,
they're gonna be in Wisconsin. Where you at? North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Dr. CB there?
Oh yeah, it's true. Listen, we trying to turn into Dr. CB, for real. Like on some next level.
And that Christian nigga want to pop up. I forget.
Yes,
his name.
he hit me today.
He
And
said
it's
Christian.
Oh, okay.
Darius. Come on, bro.
My bad. That's ignorant. Darius. My bad. I'm ignorant. He know I'm ignorant.
Why are you
Mad
putting
ignorant.
people in categories based off their religion?
That's a fact. Like, don't be discriminatory like that.
I made it clear when he come on the show, it won't be none of that. But that's the only way I can have Devin be like, "Oh, I know what the fuck you talk about." What if I said, "What's that light skinned nigga we went to school with?" You'll be like,
Yeah, I'm about to say who is a lot of them.
Casey.
I'm talking to one right there now.
Right. He said Casey. You annoying.
Yeah. So when we talk, so let's kind of wrap on that last portion when we talking about why today's generation is so fixated on death and death being the permanent solution to a temporary problem. Social emotional learning. These kids don't know how to socialize. When we talk about, you probably see this to where they call each other friends, and then when this friend go and talk to somebody they don't like, now they being fake, so now we got drama. I see this in my
You don't
girls
know how
all
many times I gotta
the
be like,
time.
Oh my gosh. Oh
and they be
my
like, this
gosh.
person was talking about me and she was doing da-da. I said, you know what a simple solution to that is? What? Don't be your friend because she phony. And then the other one be looking like, I mean, if you did these acts, is it true? And they say yes, then you phony.
Period.
And that's another thing. People don't know how to be honest with kids. You have to be. That was shady what you did.
I told them
that was shady.
I told last year it was a situation where the girls was trying to fight each other, blah blah blah, and I'm like, so where y'all getting this information from? Like y'all, somebody is telling y'all this information because everything that y'all telling me is something different, but it's kind of centered around the same problem. And all of them said, the one of the twins. I'm just gonna leave it like that. One of the twins. The skinny one. The skinny one. Not the one with the big head, the other one.
Not the one with
I get
the
you.
big head.
You know, so it was him. So they would go and tell him like something, and he'd go and tell the other girl something, but it'd be something totally different, right? So then I'm like, yo, why y'all know who his character is? He don't care about nothing that y'all saying, and he's sitting here laughing now. So why would y'all know that he no good, that he gonna go and tell whatever y'all said to somebody else or to the other girl to stir up something and sit back and watch? And he's like, I'm like, right? And he said, yeah, I don't care about what then they said. They tell me, and I'd be like, okay, so I go and I tell the next person, and I just sit back. I'm like, yo, why? Like,
why you giving him this much power?
Chill.
I tell him all the time, why you giving people power over you?
But it's just those type of things to where our kids are seeing that, and then now they kind of connect. Oh, they don't want to be my friend no more, and they was my friend, so now I want to hurt myself.
Some of it is just adolescent shit. That
Yeah,
would always happen if we lived in a perfect world, and then some of it's adolescence mixed with this fucking internet shit and this love and hip hop shit. And it's like
network.
that the way that we communicate is through violence.
And we all want to be the first one with some news. We all want to be the first niggas that will gossip, like the newest information. You heard what she just said about you? Like that makes you look good in that situation. Like, oh, I ain't know that. You a newscaster, bro. Keep on bringing me information, even if it's misinformation. That's Donald Trump, that fake news. But nonetheless, you guys got to tell these motherfuckers, listen, this act was phony. You may not be a phony person. You may not be a dumbass person. You may not be an instigator, but that act was. And either you may not have been gonna learn from it or be that person.
I tell my kids all the time, it may not have been intentional, but because so much stuff is just subconscious. So much stuff is just, we're on this, oh, I got to send y'all a video about paradigms. But so much stuff is just like automatic, robotic shit that I have said, you may not have, this may not have been intentional, but do you see how it played out? You see how A action led to the B consequence? And they like, all right. And now it is what it is.
And it's nothing else to talk about at that point. Like, y'all already know.
Like, Miss Moore, you mean. No, I'm just being honest with you. Somebody got to be honest with you.
No, my words were mean. But
I'm mean. My words, they're honest. The truth hurts.
It does.
But even though, so like.
The truth shouldn't hurt, though. Lying should hurt.
Nope.
Nah, lying
is entertainment.
And lying is to save, like, to care for your emotions. Yeah.
Lying serves your ego.
Yeah, I want to lie so you don't feel a certain way.
Right, man. Fuck that.
It's like backwards.
We grown here. Well, the kids
it's backwards. I mean, lying does hurt, but it only hurts when the truth comes out that you're lying.
And it only hurts if the majority believes the truth. If majority don't believe the truth, you still Gucci.
Yeah, because then lying is humorous.
Me and my homegirl say I ain't suck your dick, so nigga, I did not suck your dick.
You gotta prove. Listen, my word against yours, and I'm gonna fight to the death. I don't know him.
That's how they be getting away with all this cheating. Because they be all on the same page. This is the story. We sticking to it.
Okay, no matter what happened.
So you lying on your dick now?
So you lie. So you gonna tell them that I fuck with you?
And then they make it. They
out of here.
They go on Twitter to make it to solidify everything. Like,
bruh, if you put it on the internet, bruh, you
I gotta get back on Twitter.
You might as well say I ain't fuck her.
Cause now it look like you thirsty.
Like of course you would say you want. Of course you said you was with me. I would want to be with me too if I was.
Oh, now it happened to you.
Yo,
now it happened to you.
Bro, that really happened to me.
Ain't nobody lying on that boy spot. Ain't nobody lying on that boy spot. I just can't see it. But
you better stop acting like I'm
go
not
ahead.
A creature.
But go ahead.
Shit. So Cal was worked with this bitch, and this was a couple years ago. This little white bitch. So anyway, we went to the same Wegmans and shit, you know. So he saw us there. He knew that we was there. So then I go back to her house later that night. You know, we fucked in the back of her dad's yard and shit like that. Okay. So then we go to like a month and a half
How you get
ago.
ticks.
That's how you get ticks.
You know,
nigga.
You seen it on House. You know when they got
Not
the ticks.
ER. Not ER. Cause you too light to be saying ER, and you in Wisconsin.
Goodness.
Don't say ER.
Or North Dakota or
say
South. It was one of them.
North Dakota, South Dakota, Kentucky. I'm just fucked up out here. Anyways, so then that bitch get on his post, and she said something, and Calvin was like, "Why is your crusty ass messaging me?" So then she responded some shit. Long story short, I get on it and was like, yeah, man, don't even fucking talk to that old dusty, crusty pussy hoe. And I didn't think the bitch was gonna respond, but she was like, when did we fuck? And after that, I'm like, bitch, oh my grandmother, we ain't fuck. Put that shit on your kids.
Like now your grandma rolling around in her grave.
And then she was like, no. Well, I wouldn't say that, but that's how I know. When you know the truth, just let it ride. Like let it ride. But I ain't want niggas to think that I'm out here lying on my dick when I know for a fact, bitch, I got evidence. I know where you stayed, bitch. I went into your dad's backyard and fucked you on his chair. Like when you get specific like that, bitch, long story short, I just had to let it go myself because I was the one looking stupid. That was public. Interpretation.
It was public.
Shit. So just let it go. When you know the truth, you gotta let that shit go.
Let it
Just,
go.
right, we ain't fucking
Let it go.
Let it go. Oh, I thought you were singing Omarion. Never mind.
Omarion.
No, Mario. Mario. The Mario song.
Mario.
Fuck, I forgot. Yeah, you don't remember that song?
No.
Nah, no, let it go, Mario.
It's fuck it. No, it's never mind. I'll think of it later. But that nigga was dancing in the video. It was about a bitch.
Let me love you.
Never mind. No. Let me love you. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
You sure
but
that's
that
the
ain't
one?
had nothing to do with what you were saying.
Yeah,
girl, you should let me love you. And that nigga had the braids in the video. He was dancing with the bitch.
Yeah.
He had the multicolored shirt on with the pants.
The
was back there.
To give
Oh my! What? Boy, I used to come to school early as a bitch to sing that shit to the hoes. I was corny. But let it burn.
Did it work?
Confessions.
That whole Confessions album is a classic.
Yo, Confessions. Me and Devin listened to Confessions from front to back.
On the way to DC.
On the way to DC.
All the high notes.
On the way to DC, huh?
Shut up. See, there you go.
And that wrap it up, Dad.
On that note, because it's time to go. It's time to go.
See, nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining.
Yeah, right. So you already know we done touched on a few things. Bring them African. Bring them African.
That's an American
consultants.
African.
Yeah, the American come first. The white people the black people trying to be white. So the Don Lemons, they African.
I'm African.
They Africans.
So what are we?
We African. We just African.
No, but we live in America.
African.
We African.
No.
In
America lives in us. They stole us.
No, whatever.
What?
I don't know. We ain't coining that.
In the show.
Take some stuff from this. You already know. We building on what we talking about. The team is back. I don't know if Noel's gonna be gone next week, but we
Do y'all see how hard they be on black women? I missed 2 weeks, and
we
don't know
island. Ain't got nothing to do with black women. Everything to do with you.
Shannon, tune in next week to see if Noel returns to the show.
To be continued, douchebags.
Y'all already know.
You gotta switch the chorus. This me and Shannon show. China's not here for things. China's not here.
End the show. Shut it down, cause Noel about to go.
Y'all already know. Bring another set of ears for next week's show. This is Royal Flex the Brand's introspective insight talk show. I am King Devdo.
And this is Shannon Shenanigans.
And I am your favorite and clearly most missed co-host, Noel Moore.
Never mind, I was about to say something, but that's gonna drag the show. So I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Introspect. Tiv inside. Hope you come back next week.
Come back next week.